I wanted to put together a little film about something that happened to one of my baby budgies. Now, this was the second clutch that my two budgies had, and the mother went into, I guess you could almost say, like a breeding frenzy. You see, the babies were growing, everything was going well, but I noticed she started to be a little bit mean to the babies. I didn't think much of it. If this happens to you, if you have baby budgies and you see the mommy starting to be mean to the babies, do watch carefully, because what happened to one of my little birds here is apparently, I didn't know this, but is apparently something that the mama budgie will sometimes do if the babies don't get out of the nest fast enough for her to be able to lay more eggs. She wanted to start another clutch, and apparently the babies weren't moving on fast enough for her liking. Of course, they weren't old enough. They weren't ready. Well, this little one here, you'll see one morning I heard a terrible racket, and here's what I came upon. The mama budgie was trying to kill this little one. She had, her skull was literally visible in a couple of places. Her beak was cracked and terribly damaged. One of her little wings hung at the side funny, so something was wrong with one of her wings. Anyway, when I pulled the mother off of her, I mean, she had a grip on this little baby. Golly, I didn't know what to do. So there I had this little thing that was barely moving. The first thing you need to do if this happens is to stop the bleeding, because they don't have much blood. So I took cornstarch and I patted it all over the top of her head initially. The second most important thing is to make sure that they have water in their system. So someone told me this, I wouldn't have known, so I got a little syringe I have, and I put pure Kangen water, I did, but distilled water, purified water, into her little beak, and she drank a lot, even immediately. So you see the pictures here. As the days went by, I covered her head with Neosporin to keep it from getting infected, and eventually, after a few days, I tried her back in the cage, and the daddy bird was very, very good about taking care of her. The mama bird, I didn't trust at this point, and I didn't want them breeding again. So I put her in a separate cage. I kept her away from the baby for quite a while, actually. But the daddy bird did come and start to feed the baby. Oh, and I neglected to mention, I bought baby bird food, and I had been hand feeding her with the syringe and or a little silver teaspoon, whatever I could get her to take the food from. And I guess I did that about a week or so. Anyway, but the daddy birds, if anything like this happens, the daddy bird does come in and take over and care for the baby. Once she was back in the nest, in the cage, I beg your pardon, she liked to stay in the nest, and the daddy bird typically went into the nest to care for her. But here you see finally the pictures as she became more and more well. I didn't think she would fly, for it was several weeks after, well, about 2 weeks, I guess, after the others had begun to fly. She still wasn't flying. It was delayed, but she's flying now. As you can see, she's up there on the curtains with everybody else. And finally, I tried supervised visits, letting the mama bird out among them. Interestingly, every night when they get tucked in for the night, that's the mama bird you see just to the right of her. She's the white-headed one with the blue belly. She's always right next to her mama. And there's little Beauty, all well.